Welcome back to the Aussie Shed, ladies and gentlemen. I've just finished repainting the floor pan on Project Fairlady. So what I've done, folks, I've gone over the whole thing with a nice new fresh coat of stone guard, and it looks really, really sweet. I've done most of the floor pan. I've done up to the gearbox through the center there, and I've done along the outsides up over the rails where we had all those repairs done and everything. I'll take you under there in a second and give you a bit of a look. It looks absolutely really sweet. So I've put a lot of prep into this too, folks. What I've done is I've dug out a lot of the old seam sealer, which was dried out and cracked, and redone it all. I've also gone over a lot of the spot welds in the body that were really daggy. There was a lot of quite daggy welding being done on sort of panel assembly. Cleaned all those up and just generally sort of detailed the whole thing before applying the stone guard to it. So now that it's all got a fresh coat of stone guard, it looks really, really nice. So let's go in and have a look. Being black's probably going to suck, folks. It's going to make it quite hard to kind of sort of see everything, but you can see it's looking really, really good. Everything under here is just really, really nice. Yeah, very happy with how it's turned out. All this stuff. Yeah. Like a brand new car again, folks. Now you can see under here where we repaired the frame rails and everything. You can't tell anymore. Everything's just really good. Yeah, very happy with it, folks. The pinch weld areas have all been redone and everything, so it all just looks factory again. You know, it's just real, real nice. Very happy with it all. So yeah, folks, it's looking pretty bloody good. I've also done right across the back here. So once it's all dry, folks, I should be able to start reassembling. So the first thing that's going to need to go in is the fuel tank. So as you would have seen from the last episode, the fuel mods to the fuel tank and delivery system are all complete for this end of the car now. So I've just repainted the lower section of the fuel tank and a few bits and pieces. So I think we should get the fuel tank back in. Right, folks, so our fully prepped fuel pump hanger's about to go in the car. I've done all the testing and everything that I need to do with this just to make sure that everything's functioning correctly. I've checked the fuel pump to make sure it actually powers on and everything. And as I say, everything else is good. All the hose connections have been tested. We are looking pretty damn good. If you're interested in modifying your fuel pump like this, folks, let me know in the comments, because I'm thinking about making up a few more of these adapters, and I might put a few kits together with all the correct size, you know, bulkhead elbows and the electrical bulkhead connectors and the whole business to be able to do this exact modification. It does take a bit of work, but it at least enables you to go to a 3/8 line directly out of your 3/8 outlet pump, like your Walbro 450 and your Hellcat pump and everything, straight into AN feed and return lines, which is an upgrade on the standard 5/16 line. It gives you a little bit more capacity and allows the pump to work a little bit better. So yeah, it's just about to go in, folks, which is just bloody great. It's taken a lot of work to get to this point. I've got a new O-ring here for the tank, because hopefully this won't need to come out again. You can go right there. Nissan part number 1734201A00. Now I also have the old one here for comparison, because I keep all the old stuff until I'm about to chuck it away with the new stuff. And yes, that is the right one. Actually, folks, while I've got you here, let's have a bit of a look. You can see that this old O-ring is actually very flat. Look at it that way and then turn it that way. You can actually see how flat it is. Whereas your new one is all nice and soft and round, instead of being flattened out, which is, you know, which is what you'd expect after being in there all this time. Well, when I say all this time, it has had a fuel pump replacement. Whether or not they replace the O-ring, who knows? Probably not, going by the way the rest of the stuff's been done on this thing. But we have a nice new O-ring anyway, folks. So in she goes. I did actually have this in before it was completed, actually, when I was setting up the AN lines and stuff like that. Oh. Yeah, they're all good. Bag of bolts, fuel pump hanger. Oh, how good's that? I have cleaned the tank out too, folks. The tank's nice and clean inside. She's a very good tank, actually. There's no corrosion in it, and it's spotless inside now, which makes me very happy. There we go. Hopefully she's in for good. Now we've just got to reattach our bleed line from the other half of the saddle tank. This has been replaced too with some E85 compatible hose, folks. The other hose was a bit of an unknown. I'd say it was quite possibly the original hose, but no idea whether or not it's meant to be E85 safe or anything. So I had a piece just sitting there, folks, and you know, what do? Just might as well replace it. Way to go. Alright, so that's that one. This is your fill breather, which connects to the filler neck, which runs in under here. That's just been reconnected, and I guess now start looking at the AN line connection over here. So I might change the position of the camera, just so you've got a bit of a better look at all this. Alright, so there are our lines. And this is our evap line, folks. That's the original evap line. It hooks up into this rubber hose just here. It's one of the first things that we need to get on. So I might heat that up a bit, I think. Problem with old hoses, folks, they get really hard as they age. I probably should replace this one as well, but it's only an evap line. It's in pretty good condition. There's no cracks or anything in it, so it should be fine. Alright, that'll do it. Oh, that's a bit better. Fantastic. Very nice. Okay, now I think that has to go on the top of these from memory. Fuel pump and fuel return. See here, folks, the camera's in a bit of an awkward spot for me to see, but I've got labels on all the hoses so I don't muck up what goes where, and when it comes time to reconnect everything, you know, I sort of know where they're going. Just a handy bit of a thing, you know. All these hoses have been pressure tested as well, folks. They've been tested to 150 psi. I've got a little tester that I made up there years ago. One's an AN6, an AN8, an AN4. They're just a bit of an aluminium block with a couple of male AN hose ends, and they're sort of like a T-piece. And you can run an air line, and there's a ball valve on them, so I can pressurise them and drop them in water. It's pretty good, pretty simple. Pump, so that's that guy. Just get those on there loosely. That one. That is that one. As you can see, folks, it's been fitted before, otherwise it certainly wouldn't be going together anywhere near this well. Yeah, that'll be alright. These are the original nuts off our original bracket that was there for the rubber hose. Should still work alright. Look at that. I was going to put nylock nuts on there, but I think these will be just fine. Being that they're a washed head, that sort of thing. The guy just clips in down there. You can probably see what I'm doing, or you can probably see my head. That one clips into that. Now we'll get these nipped up. That's going to be the trickiest bit. Oh yep, I've jagged it. That's good. Damn it, I should have done that one first. Ah, poo. Just undo this fella. Alrighty. This is probably one of the few issues that we're going to have with this, folks, is it's going to be very awkward to get these lines off and get all this disconnected once it's all installed into the car. Getting to these two bolts here is actually going to be quite tricky, and without undoing those it's going to be very hard to get these lines undone and get them to push back, because the clamp holds it very tightly on there. If we ever have to get this out, other than dropping the tank, so what I may end up doing is making a little trap door there in the floor so I can get to this if I ever need to do anything here. I probably won't do anything until I need to actually get this off for any reason. If something goes wrong with the fuel level sender or anything and I have to get this out, I'll need to get this off, which, as I say, means I'm going to have to possibly cut a little door in there. I'll see what it's like once it's in. I may be able to actually get to it, but at this stage I just really don't know. But I remember how little access there was around this, the fact that the guys had to sort of mangle up the edge of the access door just to be able to see what they were doing and try and disconnect the old hoses, which they kind of messed up. I think I'm going to have a bigger problem here, but looking at it up there, I think I should be quite easily able to cut a hole in the floor and make a little access door that screws on and off just like the main plate does over this. Alright, that's pretty tight. Tight enough. Let's get this guy back that way so we've got a bit better access to it. That's looking pretty good, folks. It's pretty much ready to go back in the car, I reckon, now. So before we do, folks, just a bit of a close-up look of what we've got there. It's all looking very nice. Making use of our original bracket here across the top and just changing it with some rubber-lined Steno P clamps on there, and yeah, and modifying this little bracket on the bottom so it only really takes the one hose. These actually clip into the body down the bottom once this is all back together, but that holds our original evap line there. So it's all looking pretty good. Pretty happy with it, folks. So I think it's about time to get this sucker back in the car. Right, folks, I worked in the night last night. The fuel tank is now in. So let's go under and have a bit of a look, and I'll show you a few other things I've been working on as well. So yep, there's the fuel tank, folks. Looking very nice. As you can see, it's been painted. The straps have been painted in silver just to make them stand out a little bit more. New rubbers on the straps here, which just look real nice, sort of thing. Down here you can see the fuel system hook up and these AN lines that are coming out from up the top. See there, they're held back with a billet bracket onto the body there, which I mentioned why there was no bracket fixing them to the tank at the bottom. Yeah, that's all looking pretty sweet. Other things that I'm working on down under here, you can see I've got the beginnings of the new billet brackets that I'm making to hold all the fuel lines, where they sort of come down and across to here, and we still have the original brake line here, and on the outside there is the evap line, the two center lines, which are these two here. They're going to be feed and return to the engine. Yeah, as I say, I'm working my way down. I've got to here. I'm just about to sort of start on this guy here. But other things of note that I've been doing under here, you can see some wire hanging down. That's some Tefcell motorsport wiring, which is currently connected to the ethanol content analyzer over here. All the wiring that I'll be doing on the car, I'm going to be using Tefcell for. You can see the rear coilovers are back on. I've torn these apart and sort of serviced them, repainted everything. I've put new dust seals, new bump stops on them, checked all the seals and everything. Look, they seem to be absolutely fine. I've got no idea how they are as far as how stiff they are and all that kind of stuff. You know, bump and rebound settings. They don't seem to have any adjustments on them, so they are what they are. They have had the springs changed, so someone has mucked around with them to tune them. What they've tuned them for, whether they've been tuned for track or street use, I really don't know. At this stage, it really is just suck it and see. Once I get the car on the road and drive it, I'll get a bit of a feel for them and decide whether they're going to stay or whether I'm going to replace them. But at this stage, I thought I might as well just kind of rebuild them and put them back on, because there doesn't appear to be anything wrong with them. So the next thing I'm going to do, folks, is put the shield on the bottom of the tank there. It's all sort of set up and ready to go, so I might throw that on, and you guys can have a bit of a look at it. So this is the shield here, folks. It's the original shield. It appeared to be a piece of zinc plated steel, but it was getting a little bit average looking, so I recoated it in some silver Por 15, and it turned out really nice. So I think I might just throw this guy on while we're here. I'm using stainless bolts. All of the sort of small bolts that I'm putting back into the car, all the sort of small 6mm jobs, I'm replacing with 316 stainless. as opposed to all the original bolts that I'm either repainting or I've plated in the zinc. But either way, all the hardware will be new in one way or another. It's great to see it actually starting to come together now, folks. It's been a bit of a hard slog to this point with all the repairs that we needed to do on the floor pan, which was really all sort of cosmetic stuff, but and just stuff from age of the vehicle. But well worth doing, in my opinion, folks. Well worth doing. Beautiful. And the next thing I might quickly throw on, folks, is the filler neck into the tank there, just to sort of properly seal that back up. You can see this has been repainted. Once again in Pour 15. New seal for the top. I actually made that seal up because you can't buy that individually from Nissan. So I've made that one up myself, and I also have a new O-ring to go on the tank there to seal this back up. So I might just go and dig the O-ring out, and we'll set up to put this back in. That's the seal there, folks, for the bottom of the filler neck. You can see that it's a JA941-AU01. Genuine from Nissan. Alright, let's get this sucker up. A tiny little bit of grease on that. A little bit of grease on here, folks. It's just to stop the O-ring dropping out. Grease works really well to sort of hold things in position. And it doesn't cause a problem later on with things, you know. Perfect for O-rings. That will stay there much better now. Alrighty. So, right, we should go up there like that. Yep, that ring's still good. Just try and be a little bit careful with these, folks. The last thing you want to do is cross thread one of these. Bring it there into the tank. And that's that. And while I'm at it, folks, I might as well put the guard on for the fuel filler pipe. But as you can see, it's looking very, very nice. Looking very nice indeed, folks. Alright, well, it's great to finally get a bit of progress on stuff, folks. To be actually putting stuff that's been reconditioned and, you know, modified and sorted and everything back into the car. I've still got to hook up the breather pipe up there to the fuel filler neck, but I'll do that off camera. As you can see, it's all starting to come together, so the next thing I've got to do is sort out the brake lines, get all those back on in the rear, and then we're ready to start lifting that rear cradle back up and then start building that back out. So I think this will do for this video, folks. I hope you like the progress on the car. I know I'm certainly happy with it. And as always, folks, thanks for stopping by the Aussie Shed. Bloody pleasure to have you here. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, leave a comment. And as always, folks, I'll bloody well see you on the next one. Cheers.